May 22nd. Welcome to the Public Safety Committee. I'm filling in for Chairman Mitchell Englander. I'm Councilmember Joe Buscaino. Looks like it's going to be a committee of one this morning. So the fact that we will not have a quorum, we will not, and we're not obligated to take public comment on the items. For those who wish to speak on the items, feel free to speak on the items once it comes to full council. But what I'll do at this point is take general public comment. These are items that are not on the agenda. Do we have any general public comment cards?
Yes, sir. You have one at the top of the stack.
Oh, thank you. Okay, Antonia Ramirez, please come forward. Again, for general public comment. Good morning.
Thank you again for silencing all of us who speak on the First Amendment. Now, many of us come prepared to speak on the agenda items that are affecting the city. We have a gang epidemic, and you have failed to protect us. Again, public safety has failed, and its members and the city attorneys and the LAPD have failed to protect law-abiding citizens. And every time we either come to the committee meetings or the city council, we are continuously silenced, sent out, and thrown out. And not to mention, we get gang stalked everywhere we go. So if any of you are looking for what is gang stalking, look up, Google search gang stalking. Look for ex-FBI retired agent Ted Gunderson. Again, Ted Gunderson. And he dissects every bit and every aspect of gang stalking and says law enforcement, sheriff's department, council members, and the city attorneys are involved in gang stalking against law-abiding innocent victims. I happen to be one of them. Thank you. God bless America.
Thank you. Okay, if I can direct your attention to the agenda, we are going to take the following items on consent and send these following items to council. Items 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So items 1 through 9 we'll take on consent.
Council member, items 1, 3, and 5 have CA reports that were submitted after the publication of the agenda. Do you wish to approve those reports as part of your action
today? We'll approve those reports with those items, yes. Thank you. Okay, John, on item number 9.
Yes, sir.
Looks like we had to increase the award amount. If I can just pull item 9 and just show item 9 as a recommendation of this committee to increase the reward amount to reward payment to $50,000.
Okay, as amended. Very good. Thank you.
Claimant A will get $15,000 and claimant B will get $35,000.
Thank you.
Thank you. So item 9 will be approved as amended. Wow, where did everyone go? Oh. Let's take item number 11.
Item 11, motion Wesson Blumenfield Bond relative to directing the LAPD in consultation with the city attorney, LADOT, City Planning Department, Office of Finance, and the Department of Public Works to report on how the LAMC would apply to on-demand valet parking services and if any amendments would be needed to effectively regulate on-demand valet services.
Mr. T. Fink, welcome. Happy Friday.
Morning, Councilman. How are you today? Richard T. Fink, Executive Director, Board of Police Commissioners. We are preparing a report which will be going to the Police Commission either June 2nd or June 9th to address the motion.
Okay.
We believe this is a viable program. It would be our recommendation that will be included in our report that it not be an amendment to our current valet ordinance, it be a new ordinance, and for lack of a better term, we'll call it the on-demand valet ordinance, because the operational issues related to how it would operate are different than the traditional valet at the curbside. We believe it's a viable program using today's technology, and we see the ordinance is pretty straightforward. Some of the things that we will recommend, since there is no valet zone necessary, because basically how this operates, much like an Uber, you have an app, you indicate where you want to have your vehicle dropped off at, the attendant will meet you at that location. So one of the requirements would be that the transfer of the vehicle not take place in the roadway, it take at a lawful curbside spot. So therefore, since it's just a temporary transfer, there's no need to reserve valet parking, because that's just going to be incidental to that one drop-off. The vehicle then is taken to one of the contracted lots that the company contracts with. The vehicle is parked there. They have a lockbox, so they put the keys to the vehicle in the box. That way, if another attendant gets the call to return the vehicle, another attendant can go to the lockbox, unlock it, and return the vehicle. The routes for that would, again, be dependent on where the vehicle is picked up and the nearest contracted lot. The parking occupancy tax will be the responsibility of the contracted auto park.
Okay, that was one of my questions.
Yeah, so if it's, I'll make up a number, $20 to park the vehicle, the on-demand valet company would remit $20 to the parking lot. They would then pay the 10% POT out of their receipts as they normally would. And that's very simply how it would work. But again, we'll have those items in our staff report. See it as viable. We hope to move it along as quickly as possible, because we know there are several operators who want to begin operation in the city. It's a viable program. It just does not fit in our existing ordinance.
Very good. No, again, it's forward thinking on using technology to be responsive to the people who are coming into the city and using this resource. And using it, it's a great tool, I believe. We'll support this, and we'll move this without objection.
Very good, sir.
Thank you. Send this to the council. Okay, are we waiting for, okay, fantastic. Care, final item? Item number 10.
Item 10, Police Commission, City Planning Department, and the City Attorney reports and ordinance in response to motion Englander Martinez relative to amending LAMC sections 103.205 and 103.205.1 in regard to regulating massage therapy establishments consistent with state law for the enactment of AB 1147, Bonilla, effective January 1st, 2015.
It's my understanding that this ordinance would be on the same plane level, same field, same level as the state law. Is that my understanding?
Deputy City Attorney Brian Satelli, yes, it is, Your Honor.
So it would be consistent with AB 1147 that was already approved and is in effect as of January 1 of this year, right?
That's correct.
Okay. You want to make your presentation?
Yes, Richard T. Fank, Executive Director, Board of Police Commissioners. As Mr. Sotili indicated, the ordinance before you will comport our current ordinance to AB 1147, the requirements. The AB 1147 has changes which do not comply with our current ordinance that we have on the books, so the prepared ordinance will bring us in line with AB 1147. Just to give a little bit of the magnitude of the change, when CAMTC, the California Association of Massage Therapy Council, was introduced 5 years ago, it took away the ability of the cities to have zoning requirements over where massage parlors were located. What occurred then was a proliferation of massage parlors that are not permitted by the city throughout the city. The map before you represents, and for your district and your colleagues from the committee's districts, I put a map that would show these. The blue are for the locations that have a police commission permit. Most of those had a permit long before CAMTC was created, and they continued with their permit process. The red dots are the locations that we have located with the assistance of Detective Support Vice Division. Since they're not required to have a permit, we don't know where they are until we find out about them. So we clearly understand that there is a underrepresentation of those red dots on the map. And the total numbers for our current valet operations in the city, we currently have 79 locations with a police permit. I'm sorry, massage parlors. 79 with a police permit and 94 locations with a CAMTC operation. We know there are far more than 94. With this ordinance, we will be able to bring all of those into compliance with the ordinance. It also has in it that effective January 1 of 2016, all therapists in the city of Los Angeles must have a state-issued permit by CAMTC. That's positive for the community and for the industry. It raises the standards of hours of education, puts everybody on the playing field of having the same type of permit. and every operator must have those individuals permitted to operate. So we feel that with this ordinance, number one, we'll comport with the law. Number two, we'll get better control of the locations. And we also believe those marginal operators that we don't know about, when we do locate them, they will not be able to comport with the requirements of the new ordinance and basically will go out of business.
So what tools are you going to use to identify the other locations that...
What we're going to be doing is we're going to do a couple of strategies. One, with the assistance of the 21 area vice units and the 4 Bureau vice coordinators, we're going to ask them to go out into their communities, identify those locations for us. That takes good advantages of resources. We're also going to be doing some business checks through Office of Finance and the business tax registration certificates, and we feel that we'll capture the majority of them in that manner. If we do miss some, we'll find them as we go along, just as we have valet operators when they started.
Yeah, I'm glad to see this. This is one of the thorns on my side as a senior lead officer, being responsive to the businesses and the residents, that these things, it's like the pot shops popping up left and right. And it took getting Vice in there to make the arrests on the therapists to be responsive and do everything we can to shut them down. Just want to thank the police department and working alongside our state colleagues. This was also an issue as a board member of the state California League of Cities that we all supported. This was an issue up and down the state impacting cities north and south. So happy to see progress on this, and hoping we can be more responsive moving forward on this ordinance. And this has to go also to the planning.
This ordinance has nothing about site restriction in it, does it, Mr.
Okay.
Sotilli?
No, it does not.
Okay,
Simply the business regulations,
very good.
police permits.
Okay, so without objection, we'll approve the city attorney's report and draft ordinance. Does the planning department have any role in this or not?
Here, Lynn Wyatt, Chief Zoning Administration. We have worked in coordination with the Police Commission
Okay.
and the City Attorney's Office. At this time, we have the report that we provided to you back in February. I think they've addressed all the concerns that
Okay.
you had expressed at that time, and we aren't progressing or moving forward with a conditional use permit, but we have had ongoing conversations in looking at that over-concentration issue and potentially doing a plan amendment in the future that could look at it from a citywide basis as to how we could potentially monitor and regulate concentration of these uses. To the extent that their proposed ordinance may somehow ameliorate some of those issues, we're going to take that all into context over time, and if we need to
Okay.
come back to you with any further changes, we'll let you know.
Very good. It's good to know you guys are all communicating. That's the main thing. Okay.
Councilmember, if you have any questions on the ordinance, I'm prepared to answer any or give you an overview on what the ordinance what pertains to and the regulations within the ordinance.
No, we're good.
Okay.
Appreciate that. Thank you so much. When's this going to council? Do we...
Soonest it can go to council would be the week of June 2nd.
Great.
If I could request just that it not go on June 2nd, which is a day of a police commission
Police
meeting.
commission meeting, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
June
Thank you.
3rd?
That would be great.
Very good.
Thank
Shoot
you.
for June 3rd. We'll shoot for June 3rd. Thank you so much for your report.
Thank you, sir.
Great to see the progress on this. So the direction will be to approve the ordinance and continue the planning report. Is that clear, John?
Got it. Thank you, sir.
Okay. There's our last item.
That's it.
With that, Public Safety Committee, Doug, is adjourned. Thank you.